It's welcome to DivvyDao 2.0, second community meeting.
Yeah, so I mean, he produced essentially a rough draft of the collaborative, community-oriented side, right?
Right, and thank you for getting started on the investor side. And I think discussion in this meeting is going to set some direction there, maybe. Workflowy, I forgot to put on the schedule as a tool. I haven't much experience with it, but it looks like a good collaboration tool for organizing things. Now, in one sense, you can do pretty much the same thing with Google Document. It's easy to make lists and links and such in a Google Document. But something like Workflowy is more like what we're going to need to develop for ourselves and our communities. So it's good to understand it, because free software folks will not use Google Document, and we need to include them. Now, they won't include Workflowy either unless they'll only accept us using free software tools. We won't use anything else.
So, Brent, are you saying, I might have missed some of what you were saying, but it sounds to me like you were creating a place to put the tools.
Now, it's an outlining tool, Kendall.
Okay.
If you click on it, you'll see what it does, more or less. I guess, it'd be good to,
yeah.
Maybe we should,
Okay, here's my point. Here's my point. In my document, I talked about the Divi Marketplace. Okay, if there are tools, it would seem to me that we can start consolidating all of the tools in a place where they are available for anyone. Okay, so the whole point is that I think there's enough. This whole
has to take some minutes on the fly or somebody, so that's what I grabbed real fast. It is a quick and easy tool, and I just set it so anybody can edit it. But I'll sit here and take minutes. It's just one of many tools, but I do think that maybe we should look at the free software options that are available for a certain reason. We might have options available there.
Well, I mean, it seems to me, the Divi is going to evolve into a whole bundle of tools, methodologies, categories, and so forth that makes it the easiest place to navigate any kind of group activity. Right? So, I mean, I would suggest take a look at the document that I put up, and because I'd welcome some feedback, but I think I put most of the categories in there, and at the end of the day, in order for people to use the Divi effectively, there has to be a point to start navigating it. And, I'm calling that the Divi Marketplace.
We had the community and investor documents in progress by Kendall and Jeff, very good efforts. I have not, I made some comments in Jeff's and some updates, and I haven't looked at it again. Been kind of busy, and I just went through Kendall's document and have not made any comments yet or on that. We will give you those. We will put the links in this agenda document for you to grab or in the Slack, but I'm not going to do that right now. Okay.
Jim, let me ask you. I mean, I think the intention last week was to use these two documents as the let's call it the working documents to achieve the two ends.
Right. The living document would just be try to be a complete document of the current state of the Divvy, not targeted for either audience specifically.
Right. The original current state document has been a catch-all document, which you're saying will evolve into the sort of the general paper.
Right. It's the state of the Divvy document.
Mm-hmm. To create a starting point for essentially the two sides of whatever is going to be presented going forward.
Doug Rushkoff gave us a mandate that our primary focus has to be on onboarding members. And these two documents are one step in onboarding two of the classes of users.
They intertwine, obviously, because if the investors can't understand what the value of the communities are, you don't get any investors.
Right.
And if you can't convince the investors, you're probably not going to convince anyone else.
Right. And in order for communities to buy into the feasibility, well, I shouldn't say that. There's a definite sentiment here that we shouldn't take money or give any value to investors. And that's,
yeah, I mean, look. Yes, and if you read my paper, I address the issue of, the Microsofts and basically the commercial enterprises. It states very clearly that this is not something that is meant to be co-opted by commercial interests. Okay, but their tools are going to be in the marketplace and available. And if they're the best tools, then so be it. But the Divvy platform will also, in and of itself, develop tools that will be open source for the community. I mean, the Divvy platform is the ideal place for developing distributed collaborative tools, okay? But the Microsofts of the world are going to want to support it because sometimes their product is going to be the best thing available. And why that, why not have them in the effort rather than, and get some money from them rather than outside the effort in competition.
Okay, that brings up an interesting point. I contacted it was the Free Software Foundation, and they would be helpful to the extent of advising on free software. They shy away from the term open source, but they use free software. And imagine not only getting advice from that, but even sponsorship. Is that a conflict, basically? You know, as kind of Jim was just kind of talking, I think it's fair to ask. You know, I almost don't see it being a conflict. I think it's advice. What about sponsorship, to the extent of somebody just giving advice, no monetary reward, but giving their foundation credit for their advice and help? You know, if they can offer free software, for example, or you know, that opens up the debate for what if, say Microsoft or Apple or somebody wanted to offer something. Where's the line drawn, you know?
Well, okay, that's in the agreement with them.